Ang taong may Diyos sa buhay ay kayang tumindig at lumaban kahit mag-isa. Pero ang taong walang Diyos ay sasabay sa karamihan, kahit alam niyang mali na ang landas na tinatahak nila.
Public office is a public trust. We should proceed with fairness and without fear. Bottom line, we have to be impartial. That's why I would like to raise this. In the light of serious allegations contained in a joint affidavit issued last February 23, that has been reportedly transmitted to the Office of the Ombudsman, there have been allegations that some members of Congress nakatanggap ng envelope, nakatanggap ng maleta, ito'y naibigay, kung hindi sa opisina, sa townhouse. No, let me finish.
There's
You
a
will
point
have your
of
turn
order,
because
the
this is
Honorable
bearing.
Santay.
This is not an allusion
Order.
to prejudge the veracity of the allegation.
Honorable Santay, there is a point of order.
Concern for public responsibility.
Believe Honorable Erice that the letter manifests only their support to the third impeachment complaint, but it does not necessarily make the complainant's party to the third impeachment complaint.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
And Madam Chair, further,
The Honorable Rodriguez.
thank you. Further in answer to that, it is now time barred because the filing has already been done.
Correct.
So there can be no additional. It will be already a deviation of what we have in the committee now if we allow those who have withdrawn to become complainants or the endorsers to be included as endorsers. It is now time barred. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Rodriguez.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Chel Jokno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a brief manifestation. First, a commendation to the complainants led by Sir Francis Kiko D for withdrawing the complaint. The Committee on Justice can now focus on doing its job instead of wasting time arguing over technicalities. I also commend the complainants for their vigorous and relentless pursuit of accountability. They have demonstrated a deep concern for public responsibility, and therefore, Madam Chair, I move that the committee recognize them merely as interested parties, as they have shown that interest over the last several years, and also allowed to observe our proceedings, not just today, but in the future. So moved, Madam Chair.
Honorable Rodriguez, would you like to comment to the motion of the Honorable Jokno? He's moving to consider the complainants as interested party in our current impeachment proceedings.
No need to consider them as interested parties, but they can come here. Of course, they're interested and we are open. This is always public proceedings. And so we don't need to officially make them participants in this because they are not official participants, because only the endorsers and the complainants are official participants and the committee members. But certainly, we welcome those who have withdrawn from the second complaint to be present all the time, as this is a public proceedings. Thank you, Madam Chair.
In addition to the earlier manifestation of the Honorable Rodriguez, it is understood that the initiation process has been completed already. Thus, it triggers the running of the one-year prohibition period, which likewise means that we cannot change as to the parties to the impeachment complaint, no? Nevertheless, they are very much welcome, as stated already by the Honorable Rodriguez, to participate in to witness the proceeding at any stage of the same, no? They can come and witness our entire impeachment proceeding. Honorable Jokno, would you still like to push your motion?
I will respectfully withdraw the motion.
Thank
and
you,
thank the
Honorable
committee.
Jokno. Thank you. If there are no other manifestations, I would like to acknowledge first the Honorable Congressman Stephen James Tan from the 1st District of Samar. Thank you for coming. And the Honorable Congressman Paulo Henry M. Marcoleta from Sagip Party List. We wish to acknowledge as well the presence of Deputy Speaker Bambi Emano. Thank you for coming, sir. we would like to proceed to hear the sponsorship speeches. We are now on the third impeachment complaint, and we recognize the Honorable Laila De Lima to deliver her sponsorship speech of the third impeachment complaint referred to as Sabala et al. Impeachment complaint. You may proceed, Congresswoman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, honorable members of this committee. I am honored to be the endorser of the verified impeachment complaint filed by Reverend Father Joel Sabala et al. Against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Let me be clear at the outset. This endorsement is not a declaration of guilt. It is not a politically motivated gesture. It is not a personal act. It is a constitutional duty. The Constitution entrusted this House with this responsibility precisely for moments like this, when serious, detailed, and grave allegations are placed before us. Katulad na lamang ng verified complaint na ito ngayon, ito ay tahasang nagsasaad ng mga sumusunod na mabibigat na sakdal. Una, that the Vice President committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by committing plunder and or malversation, graft and corruption, and other high crimes sa umano'y pag-amas at pag-convert ng hindi bababa sa 500 million pesos mula sa confidential funds ng Office of the Vice President para sa 2022 at 2023. Hindi maliit na halaga ang kalahating bilyong piso. Hindi ito simpleng administrative lapse. Ito ay pondo ng taong bayan. Ikalawa, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust sa umano'y pagkamkam at pag-convert ng hindi bababa sa 112,500,000 mula sa confidential funds ng Department of Education noong 2023 in her concurrent capacity as DepEd Secretary. Ang pondo para sa edukasyon, para sa mga bata, para sa kinabukasan ay hindi maaaring mabalot ng pagdududa at kakulangan at mga questionableng dokumentasyon. Ikatlo, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by corrupting and bribing officials of the Department of Education. If envelopes containing cash were indeed distributed to influence official actions, that is not merely an ethical lapse, it is a direct assault on public trust. Ikaapat, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayed the public trust, and committed high crimes in contracting to murder or assassinate the President, the First Lady, and the former Speaker of the House. Kung ang isang halal na pinuno ay hayagang nagsabing siya ay nakipag-usap sa isang assassin para patayin mismong Pangulo ng Republika, hindi ito retorika lamang. Masagwa pa rito. Hindi lamang ang nagplano ng pagpatay ay ordinaryong kawani ng gobyerno, ordinaryong Pilipino, kundi ang pangalawang Pangulo, ang constitutional successor ng mismong pinapapatay niya. Saang panig ng mundo o ibang mga bansa nakakita na merong napakataas na opisyal, yung pangalawang Pangulo na lantarang nagbanta sa buhay ng pinakamataas na opisyal? Ito ay malinaw na usapin ng pambansang seguridad. Ito ay usapin ng katatagan ng ating pamahalaan. Ito ay usapin ng paggalang sa mismong konstitusyong kanyang sinumpaan. Ikalima, that she committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust in amassing unexplained wealth and failing to disclose all her properties and interests in her SALNs, alinsunod sa Section 17, Article 11 of the 1987 Constitution. Ang SALN ay hindi dekorasyon. Ito ay mekanismo ng transparency. Kapag may malaking pagtaas ng yaman na hindi maipaliwanag ng sapat, at kapag may mga nakatagong yaman, tungkulin ng institusyon na siyasatin ito. Ika-anim, that she by herself and or in concert with others committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust in committing acts of political destabilization and the high crimes of sedition and insurrection. Ang panunumpa sa konstitusyon ay hindi simboliko. Ito ay panata ng katapatan sa Republika. Kung may mga kilos o pahayag na nag-uudyot ng panghihimasok o paghihimagsik o destabilization laban sa halal na pamahalaan, hindi maaaring ipagwalang bahala yun. To support those grounds, total six specific grounds, Complainant Sabalia et al. Made a detailed recital of facts, which were mainly matters of public record and knowledge that were clearly constitutive of the enumerated offenses. Consideredly, most of the factual allegations and the annexes in the Sabalia et al. Complaint were the same as those contained in the articles of impeachment that were sent to the Senate in February 2025. Those articles were endorsed by more than 1/3 of the membership of the 19th Congress, numbering 215 representatives at that time. Fortunately, many of those endorsers are still members of the current Congress. Therefore, I have to say, it is absurd to downplay now the pieces of evidence contained in Sabalia et al. And the other impeachment complaints, precisely because these are exactly the same accusations and evidence that caused the Vice President's impeachment last year. Nothing changed. The grounds, the facts, and the evidence remained valid. This should still be enough to impeach her in this time. In fact, in the case of Duterte versus House of Representatives, GR number 278353, both in the Supreme Court's original decision of July 25, 2025, and the January 28, 2026 resolution on the motion for reconsideration, it was underscored, nasabi na rin po ito ng ating Madam Chair, that the Vice President was not absolved. In the High Tribunal's own words, quote, at the House's discretion, the grounds raised in the articles of impeachment may again be raised based on any evidence that may have been discovered, if any, end of quote. As to the opinion of some people that there are no smoking guns in this and other complaints, I beg to disagree, Madam Chair. The video containing the Vice President's threat to kill the President, the First Lady, and then House Speaker, as well as the media interview where she affirmed it, is a smoking gun. The numerous documents evidencing payments or the debts with fictitious names are smoking guns. Sabalia et al.'s complaint is replete with many other documentary evidence which are also smoking guns. And even assuming, without conceding, that the evidence in the articles are not or no longer smoking guns, we have them this time. We will produce them in the form of compelling testimonies and newly discovered material evidence. One more time with feelings, as the lyrics of a song go. I reiterate, this House has impeached Vice President Sara Duterte before. The records are clear. This House already determined at least once that the allegations against her were serious enough to trigger the constitutional process. So I ask, respectfully, but directly, what has changed? Have the allegations disappeared? Have the official reports and audit findings been withdrawn? Have the sworn testimonies before the previous House hearings been recanted? Or is the only material development the public declaration that the Vice President may seek the presidency? Maihalintulad ba ito sa isang supervening event sa law on obligations and contracts? Yung madalas ding tawagin sa batas na fortuitous event na pangyayaring hindi inasahan o kung inasahan man ay hindi naiwasan that had already rendered the performance of an obligation impossible or extremely difficult? Pero sandali lang po. Hindi ordinaryong obligasyon at pansariling interes ang nakataya rito sa impeachment process. Nakasalalay rito ang sinumpaang tungkulin natin sa ating bayan at sa ating saligang batas. Kaya kung wala namang nagbago sa mga facts at sa batas, anong dahilan para magbago ang paninindigan? O mas malala pa, anong rason para tuluyang mawala ang paninindigan? If we found the allegations sufficient before by transmitting the articles of impeachment to the Senate, then consistency and principled conviction demand that we uphold what this House had firmly decided on before. Hindi maaaring mag-iba ang ating pasya kung hindi naman nagbago ang ebidensya. Our oath is to the Constitution, not to political convenience. Our loyalty should be to the Filipino people, not to partisan interests. Public office is a public trust. That principle applies to every public officer without exception, without fear, without favor. For reasons grounded in constitutional fidelity and institutional responsibility, I urge this committee to allow the constitutional process to move forward. Let the evidence be tested. Let accountability be pursued. Let the Constitution prevail. And finally, so we pray that the lane we're treading here be paved with the same moral lines of truth and accountability that our people drew at EDSA 40 years ago. We pray that as we traverse this path now, as representatives of the people, we be mindful of those constitutional boundaries, those limits of integrity, honesty, and decency that the Filipinos have set against power and privilege. For crossing those moral lines, for desecrating those constitutional boundaries, let us impeach Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Honorable De Lima. Now we shall hear the sponsorship speech. Honorable Sedano, would you like to make a sponsorship speech as well? No. This is only Congresswoman De Lima. All right. Now we proceed to the fourth impeachment complaint. This is the Cabrera impeachment complaint. Our endorsers are the Honorable Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega and Congressman Benny Abante. DS Paulo Ortega is recognized to deliver his sponsorship speech. Maybe you can use Kong Chel's microphone first. Paige, kindly address the microphone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Honorable Abante has agreed to let me experience the senior citizen lane, a courtesy lane for today's endorsement statement. Honorable Chairperson Jervil Luistro, honorable members of the Committee on Justice, our esteemed guests, public whom we serve, na imbaga bigat tayo amin na po. Tayo ay naging isang bansang labis ang pagkahati-hati hanggang sa makalimutan na natin ang pagdating sa paglilingkod sa bayan. Dapat managot ang sinuman o anumang kulay ng politika na kanyang kinakabilangan. Ang pananagutan ay nangangahulugang paglalantad sa mali at paglalabag sa matagal nang umiiral at patuloy na sumisira sa ating mga institusyon. Now is the moment ripe for remembrance that it was nearly 4 years ago that the Vice President stood before us, raised her hand, and pledged faithfully and conscientiously to fulfill her duties as a Vice President of our country, preserve and demand our Constitution, execute our laws, do justice for every man, and consecrate herself to the service of the nation. Nakakalungkot po na isipin na nakalipas na po ang halos 4 na taon mula nung ipahayag. Ang mga pangakong iyon ay mukhang hindi naman natutupad. Sa kasalukuyan, ang Vice Presidente ay nahaharap sa mga aligasyon at paratang ng pagtataksil sa tiwalang ipinagkaloob sa kanya ng taong bayan. Mga aligasyon na hinggil sa umiiral na kultura at panunuhol at ibang katiwalaang matagal nang sumisira sa integridad ng ating institusyon. Culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption at iba pang mabibigat na krimen. Under letter A, sufficiency in form, Honorable Chairperson Luistro and the honorable members of the Justice Committee, batay sa ating rules of procedure in impeachment proceedings, upon due referral, this committee shall determine whether the impeachment complaint is sufficient in form. Kaugnay nito, ang isang impeachment complaint ay kinakailangan na may kalakip na verification that the complainant has read the complaint and that the allegations are true and correct for his personal knowledge or based on authentic records. To this end, I invite the attention of the Honorable Committee to pages 71 and 72 of the verification page that the fourth impeachment complaint or the Cabrera complaint pursual of the pages show that this complaint has been duly verified by the complainant himself, Attorney Nathaniel G. Cabrera, on the 18th of February 2026, under oath that the complainant deposed that he read and understood the contents of the complaint and that the allegations of the complaint are true and correct based upon personal knowledge and based upon authentic documents of the same date, and the verification is also duly notarized. Page 70 of the fourth impeachment complaint shows that it was signed by Attorney Nathaniel Cabrera. Higit pa rito, bilang bahagi ng formal na proseso, ako at si Representative Bienvenido M. Abante Jr. ay pumasa ng isang resolusyon of endorsement dated February 18, 2026, duly subscribed and sworn before the Honorable Secretary General Attorney Cheloy E. Villacaria Garafil. Madam Chair, it is respectfully submitted that the fourth impeachment complaint of the Cabrera complaint is sufficient in form and that it be allowed to proceed to the next stage of the proceedings. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker Paulo Ortega. Our parliamentary status, we have concluded on the sponsorship speeches of the three remaining impeachment complaints. Those include the first impeachment complaint, referred to as Castro et al. Impeachment complaint. The third impeachment complaint, referred to as Father Sabalia et al. Impeachment complaint. And the fourth impeachment complaint, referred to as Cabrera impeachment complaint. I wish to state for the record and for the guidance of all the justice members who just came, the second impeachment complaint has been withdrawn already by the complainants. Now we shall proceed to determine the sufficiency in substance. For the guidance of all the members, form. I'm just testing if you are all listening. For the guidance of all the members, I wish to summarize the process that will happen in the Justice Committee into 5. The first step is the determination of sufficiency in form. The second step is the determination of the sufficiency in substance. The third step, which is subject to the condition that the impeachment complaints are declared sufficient both in form and in substance, we shall issue the notice to the respondent for her to file an answer within the period of 10 calendar days, in which case the complainant is given as well a period of 3 days to file their reply, and from the date of reply, receipt of reply, the respondent is likewise given the period of 3 calendar days to file their rejoinder. On this step 3, we will determine if there is sufficient basis that supports the impeachment complaint. If in the affirmative, we shall proceed to step 4, and that is the hearing proper, where we will be inviting the complainants, the witnesses, and even the respondents. After the hearing proper, we will decide on step 5. That is the determination of probable cause, the existence of probable cause, which shall be determined by the majority vote of all the members of the Justice Committee. That includes the ex officio members. The Honorable Abante. May we know the pleasure of the Honorable Abante? Would you like to make your endorsement also, sponsorship speech? I thought you gave that opportunity to D.S. Paulo Ortega. That's why I did not recognize you anymore. Nonetheless, let us hear the sponsorship speech of the Honorable Bishop Abante for the fourth impeachment complaint, that is Cabrera impeachment complaint. You may proceed.
Ay, iba.
Mike.
Oo.
Tayo yata.
Sound check.
Ay, ayan.
Ayan. Alright. Alright. Magandang umaga po. Madam Chair, distinguished colleagues, mga kababayan, mga kapwa ko endorsers, Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Alam nyo, ako po'y mahilig maglagay ng titulo sa aking mga speeches. At ang title po ng aking speech today is Duty, Honor, Principle. Tatlo po yan. Ano? Martin Luther King Jr. said, and I quote, "The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people, but the silence over that by the good people." End of quote. Madam Chair, there are moments in public life when silence is convenient, when silence is strategic, when silence is safer. But there are also moments when silence becomes complicity, when to look away is to participate, when to remain quiet is to permit the erosion of the very Constitution we swore to defend. I endorse this fourth impeachment complaint with Congressman Paulo Ortega, not out of anger, not out of partisanship, not out of personal animus. I endorse the fourth impeachment complaint because the allegations before us are grave and quite serious, because they strike at the heart of constitutional order, because they involve the alleged misuse of hundreds of millions in confidential funds, because they involve sworn affidavits, COA findings, documentary irregularities, and most chilling of all, public admissions that, if true, undermine the sanctity of lawful succession and the stability of government. We are not here to convict. We are not here to persecute. We are not even here to prejudge. We are here to determine sufficiency in form and sufficiency in substance. But allow me to stress that sufficiency is not a trivial threshold. It is a constitutional gate. And when credible, detailed, documented allegations are placed before us, allegations of betrayal of public trust, culpable violation of the Constitution, graft and corruption, and other high crimes, this committee does not have the luxury of indifference, because public office is a public trust. These words are not ornamental, Madam Chair. They are not decorative language placed in our Constitution for ceremonial speeches. They are a command, a standard, a warning. When confidential funds are alleged to have been encashed in vast sums and liquidated in implausible time frames, when audit findings raise red flags, when sworn testimony describes physical transfers of cash outside normal channels, when public statements threaten the very officer's name in our Constitution, we cannot say this is inconvenient. We cannot say this is politically difficult. We cannot say let someone else handle it. Why? Because this is our constitutional duty. If the complaint is defective in form, we will say so. If it lacks ultimate facts, we will say so. If it fails the standards required by the Constitution, we will say so. But if it meets the threshold, if it alleges ultimate facts supported by sworn statements and documentary annexes sufficient to warrant investigation, then we must allow the process to proceed. For the power of impeachment, Madam Chair, my dear colleagues, is not a weapon. It is a safeguard. It is not vengeance. It is accountability. It is not politics. It is constitutional order at work. History will not ask whether this was politically comfortable. History will ask whether we were faithful to our oath. We swore to preserve and defend the Constitution, not selectively, Madam Chair, not conditionally, not when it is convenient. If we remain silent in the face of serious allegations against one of the highest officials of the land, then we are not neutral. We are negligent. This hearing is not about personalities. It is about principle. It is not about ambition. It is about accountability. It is not about 2028. It is about 1987, the Constitution that binds us all. Let us therefore proceed with sobriety, as I beg this committee right now, Madam Chair. Let us proceed with fairness. Let us proceed without fear, because in the end, we answer not only to our colleagues, not only to our constituents, but to history and to God. As Scripture reminds us in Micah 6:8, and I quote, "He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God." End of quote. Madam Chair, my dear colleagues, may we do justly, may we love mercy, and may we walk humbly as we discharge this solemn constitutional duty. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Abante. That finally concludes our sponsorship speeches. Honorable Suntay, if this concerns the sponsorship speech, because soon we will be proceeding to hear on the sufficiency in form, if that concerns form. Kindly use the microphone of the Honorable Padiernos. That's only the microphone. Page, kindly fix the microphone near to Honorable Suntay.
Hello po. Ayan. Hindi aabot. Okay.
Check this.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Well, Madam Chair, after hearing all the endorsers of the impeachment complaint, sangayon naman ako sa kanila dahil ang mga sinabi nga natin mga endorsers, there has been allegations now of misuse of hundreds of millions of public funds. Merong mga sworn affidavits, merong mga allegations na binitawan, merong usapin regarding betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption. Kagaya nga ng sinabi ni Congresswoman Renico, hindi dapat tayo matakot ungkatin ang katotohanan. At kagaya ng sinabi ng aking kaibigan, si Pastor Benny Abante, public office is a public trust. We should proceed with fairness and without fear. Bottom line, we have to be impartial. That's why I would like to raise this. In the light of serious allegations contained in a joint affidavit issued last February 23, that has been reportedly transmitted to the Office of the Ombudsman, there have been allegations that some members of Congress nakatanggap ng envelope, nakatanggap ng maleta, ito'y naibigay, kung hindi sa opisina, sa townhouse. No, let me finish.
There's
You
a
will
point
have your
of
turn
order,
because
the
this is
Honorable
bearing.
Sutay.
This is not an allusion
Order.
to prejudge the veracity of the allegations.
Honorable Suntay, there is a point of order.
This is also a
And
point
that
of
enjoys
order,
the
Madam
highest
Chair.
hierarchy among all the motions.
What is the relevancy of this speech?
No.
Sufficiency in form?
Madam Chair, this is very relevant because we are
Please, Honorable Suntay, please wait until he finishes with his point of order. The Honorable Terry Ridon is recognized. Kindly use a microphone which is okay.
Madam Chair, the speech of our distinguished colleague is absolutely relevant to the question of sufficiency of form and substance in the matter. And more importantly, my understanding of what he's stating today is that he's probably accusing members of Congress, members of the House Committee on Justice, as receiving payments for the implementation of our mandate in the impeachment proceeding. So, which is which, Madam Chair? So I think his speech is out of order and this should be decided promptly by the committee.
Okay, we heard the basis of the point of order of the Honorable Terry Ridon. Now we shall hear the answer of the Honorable Suntay.
Yes, Madam Chair. Ang problema sa
Kindly
kaibigan ko,
justify the relevance of your
He is
statement to the
jumping the
current
gun.
impeachment proceedings.
he is jumping the gun. This is actually relevant not only in the determination of form and substance. This is relevant in the impartiality, in determining the impartiality of this hearing, which is very important. Madam Chair, this is not an accusation. Kaya nga, kung hinintay lang ako patapusin, ewan ko, bakit naman yung aking kaibigan, naggagalaiti ka agad at concern na concern. You know, if we have nothing to fear, then we just listen. If we are not being alluded, why are we so guilty? So let me finish. The issue here is not to prejudge the veracity of the allegation. However, given the gravity of the claims and the potential impact on the credibility of the committee's proceeding, ang gusto ko maging malinaw lang po, hindi ko hinuhusgahan yung aking mga kasamahan o ipagpalagay na totoo ang mga aligasyon. Hindi rin po ito personal na laban sa sino man sa inyo. Sa katunayan, ang layunin ko ay kabaligtaran upang protektahan ng bawat isa sa inyo. Mabigyan, kasi may listahan na nilalabas eh. Ang gusto ko po sa ganitong pagkakataon, Madam Chair, naniniwala ako na mas mabuti na tayo mismo ang magharap at maglinaw ng issue. Kaya kaysa maging bulong-bulungan pa ito. Bigyan natin ng pagkakataon bawat membro ng committee. Pagkakataon mismo na mag-assess ng kanilang sitwasyon or if they can be an impartial member of this committee. Yun lang. Kung sa tingin nila, they can be an impartial, then let's proceed. However, if they think that baka pagdudahan sila at pagdudahan yung lalabas dito na resulta, then let's allow them if they want to recuse.
Honorable Suntay, with all due respect, unless all your manifestations have complete relevance to the current impeachment proceedings, you're enjoined by the chair to proceeding to your manifestation.
That's why, Madam Chair.
So ordered.
Madam Chair, My point is just to... if
Honorable
you could-
Sunta, you are enjoined already by the chair to cease from manifesting, from making manifestations which are totally irrelevant to our current proceedings.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. But as I
Thank
mentioned,
you.
this goes to the impartiality of the committee.
You are
Thank you
assured
very
of the impartiality of the Justice Committee. Now we shall proceed to the determination of sufficiency in form. Thank you, Honorable Suntay. We will be suspending for 2 minutes to fix all the microphones.